Alright everyone, how you guys doing? Welcome to Apple Weekly number 60. Can you actually believe it's been 60 episodes? Hey. This is of course a show where I cover everything Apple, cover the latest stories, give you my bit on it and hopefully get some input from you guys. Before getting started, heads up to Flyders, the sponsor for the show. They do cool slippers for your Magic Mouse and they are doing a giveaway at this moment in time. Stay tuned to see how you could win yourself a really cool Flyder. And of course, eye gear, gadget and travel garment. Head over to the website and you sir would be pretty awesome if you could click on the social media links. First story of this week, Ashton Kutcher is to play the Steve Jobs film, and of course this is the same studio who made The Social Network, which I am a huge fan of, and Ashton Kutcher does seem to be the most likely person, and the reason why I say that is because the report has been leaked or published recently, and just from this image, doesn't there look some sort of similarity between Jobs and Ashton Kutcher? It's clear, just the whole facial thing, and tell you what, I am looking forward to it as much as I would like Liam Neeson or maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger to play Jobs, even although it's not, you know, an action film. But I think Ashton Kutcher, just purely for the kind of look wise, I think he will get the role in it. And of course today is the 1st of April, and no, it's not an April Fool joke, because the website who published the leak said, hey, we don't do jokes. The film is set to go into production as of next month in May, so I guess sooner or later we'll find out who the exact cast is, but me, for one, cannot wait to watch this film. Good news for all you iOS developers out there, and those of you who are iOS developers watching this video, you know the good news, that Apple is increasing your iAd split or revenue from 60% to 70%, increasing 10%, meaning you'll get more money. Good move, sensible move, and it's a way to kind of say, look, Apple are taking care of the app developing community. Developers are going to be doing high fives all around, so yeah, well done. Next up, CEO Tim Cook and some Apple executive toured China, which is a bit unusual. In the Steve Jobs era, there was no such thing as kind of taking public photos at Apple retail stores. Yeah, Steve Jobs was spotted here and there, but rarely did he come across as, you know, happily or taking photos. Tim Cook was in China last week, or I believe he's still there, and he casually walked into the Beijing store and spoke to the customers, took pictures with them happily. He's toured the Foxconn factory where the new iPhone development plan has begun, and of course all the health issues, the staff issues, the overtime issues at Foxconn, which is notorious for, and no doubt the Apple iPad trademark, which this other company who is holding. No doubt there'll be some talks about that as well, and of course he's met some of the senior people in the government as well, and Apple seem to be doing pretty well over Google, having a jibe at Google, because Google and China don't really get along too well, and Apple, and one of the reasons why Tim Cook was out there is they're trying to secure a deal with the biggest search engine in China. So it becomes, I can't remember the name, but that search engine will become default on all iPhones in China. Of course, that deal is a win-win for both companies. Staying in China, the world's biggest Apple store yet again is coming to China. I say yet again, the Covent Garden store in London was the biggest one, which I happily attended. And then the Grand Central one in the United States was to overtake that, even bigger. And now apparently in China, there's a city, and there are boards up saying Apple's biggest store is coming here soon. Some scaffolding, some building works taking place, and the rival shopping centre decided to throw down the boards, have a bit of a scuffle outside because they were jealous this shopping centre was getting an Apple store and this other shopping centre had 0 Apple stores. So there was a bit of a fight. There is a video on YouTube which I'll leave the link in the description below, and make for that what you will. And last but not least, the story that you guys have all been waiting for, new MacBook Pros. What are the latest rumours? Well, Intel have released kind of a roadmap of its Ivy Bridge chipsets, and they're going to release the chipsets in 2 kind of versions. The first one is the high processing powered chips, which are going to be making their way to the MacBook Pros, and the lower powered one will most probably make their way into the MacBook Airs, the lower end models. So the roadmap is Ivy Bridge chipsets. Apple is going to start making 15-inch MacBook Pros as of this month. Now this report is according to Digitimes, who we all know how they work. So Digitimes is saying we're going to see 15-inch MacBook Pros in May and 13-inch MacBook Pros in June. That really doesn't make sense, releasing two different types of MacBook Pros in, you know, two different months. It makes sense to have the MacBook Pros totally 13, 15 and 17 being refreshed in the 1 month, and then at a later date you update the Airs. So that really doesn't kind of fit in with what Apple have done in the past. Maybe they're going to do entirely away with the 13-inch MacBook Pros. I guess it's really good news for everyone who has been waiting out on a MacBook Pro. You know, it started to come together. New chipsets probably right now somewhere in China, they're being built, and they're going to be on the shelves by May. If they finish production end of this month or mid this month, they're going to start to ship, and hopefully we can see new juicy MacBook Pros come the May time frame. Leave a comment below if you are waiting out on one. It'd be pretty nice to see who's waiting out on one, who's going to be switching from an iMac to a MacBook Pro, who's going to be selling their MacBook Air to get a Pro, what do you want to see in the next MacBook Pro. I've covered in the past what I'd like to see: Ivy Bridge, FaceTime, you know, HD, lighter machines, no optical drives, still keeping the juiciness in terms of, you know, processing power, the ability to upgrade the RAM, flash storage standard. That would be a dream come true, but it is Apple that we are talking about. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to get in on the Flyders giveaway, all you have to do is follow Flyders and post this tweet out, and they will choose a few winners. Good luck, all the best. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to visit iglaswegian.com. All my social media links are on there, and I take questions on there, so feel free to ask, throw abuse, whatever you may wish to do so. Cheers, guys.
Hey Gary, here's the documents you asked for. Are those Flyders?
Fellas, tired of being that office nerd? Well, get your swag on with Flyders. The original slippers for your mouse. Get your flat on. And get your set of Flyders at flyders.com. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook.